confirm that Godman goon Rampal has finally been arrested. He was arrested from inside his ashram, where he was hiding for over 10 days. This is what we've heard. Godman goon has been arrested. Sant Rampal has been arrested. We are being told that he has given himself up and has been taken into custody. He was, of course, sought by the courts to appear before them. He has been dodging the law to grievous consequences and circumstances. It's the day 13th of the Hisar crisis. This self-styled Godman, this individual who hid behind his followers, this individual who did not even allow some of them to go out and seek medical help, some of which even died because of a lack of medical facilities that were denied to him, has finally come out and he has surrendered. This is what we're hearing from the ground. We're going to go across to our reporters to get the very latest. Let me quickly go across to Priyank. Priyank, give me the latest. What's happening on the ground?
So 10 minutes back, an ambulance was placed right in front of the entry gate of Ashram, which gave a clear indication that Sant Rampal is about to surrender. We were under impression by the senior officials that nothing like this will happen in the night time. ADCP law and order in the evening clearly gave an indication that their operation was going up successful. So there was some sort of conversation which happened in between the cops and Sant Rampal after the lathi charge which was done by the Haryana police last evening. And after that, these 16,000 odd supporters standing before the cops since last evening.
No, so what are you saying? One second. So you're saying that this individual has surrendered and has been taken into custody, and that this entire ashram has now been taken over by the police. Is that what you're saying? Can you confirm that?
Before the court tomorrow, because the state administration has only 24 hours of time to produce an accused after he is being arrested. It doesn't matter whether the accused did surrender before the police or not.
Okay.
Since there was a non-bailable warrant, he has been charged for raging war against nation.
Okay, those are pictures. Any moment now, Sant Rampal is going to be brought out and packed into those vans, those waiting police vans. We're also told an ambulance is there. Nikunj Garg gives us more details. Nikunj Garg joins us, our editor, Internal Security. What's happening?
Well, Rahul, yes, at this hour, the Haryana police finally has decided that they will call it a day as far as this particular operation is concerned. At around 7 p.m., you would remember, Rahul, that Additional DG Law and Order of Haryana had said that they will try to wind up this operation today itself, because it has taken far too long. You know, this entire business of closing into Baba Rampal, Sant Rampal, as he's called here, has gone on for far too long. Haryana, Punjab and High Court was extremely angry. Today, during the day, they have actually rescued nearly 10 to 15,000 people, evacuated them from inside the ashram and brought them outside at various camps that they have established for this purpose. And now, finally, at around this hour, when most of the din of the regular activity of the day and the curious onlookers and the media activity and other social groups activity, there was a lot of social groups who had congregated in and around this area, Rahul, had subsided. The police finally decided to go in for the final sort of march on the ashram and bring out Baba from the inside of the ashram. Obviously, there was a non-bailable warrant pending against the Baba. Obviously, that warrant has to be executed. Obviously, that Punjab and Haryana High Court had given Haryana police a deadline till about day after tomorrow. And before that, they have to get Baba into his custody. They have to do his medical done so as to ensure that he's fit enough to be produced in front of a court of law, and that entire due process had to be followed.
Okay. So one second. So what you're saying is that Sant Rampal now will be taken straight away, perhaps for a medical test, and after that he will be taken into custody. That's what you're saying, Nikunj.
Yeah, Rahul, remember, there's a non-bailable arrest warrant pending against him.
Yes.
That warrant has to be executed. So he stands in the lawful police custody from this word onwards, because the fact is that warrant has been executed the moment he has been arrested. The warrant has been executed against him. Now, apart from the fact that, you know, that he has been taken into custody, obviously there are mandatory legal requirements because of which his medical tests and other things have to be done. And that's what the police will do from here on. And Baba Rampal would be, you know, declared fit by a board of doctors, and he will then, because he has, you remember, Rahul, during this entire drama that has unfolded over a period of at least 13-14 days, if I can call it a drama, then, you know, Baba Rampal has repeatedly taken a plea that he is medically unwell, that he cannot face a judicial or a legal process, that he certainly is unfit to be produced in a court of law. Various doctors that have examined him have also given him certificate to the effect.
Okay,
so
let's get some. Okay, let's get, well, okay, I understand the point. Stay on with me. Let me get some reactions. Sanjay Jha is with us. Sanjay Jha, how do you view these events? Someone's got to take responsibility for this farce that has played out. 14 days of endless treachery, one traitor that has been allowed to blackmail the whole country. How do you view all of this? Some people say that the Congress government is also, the previous Congress government in Haryana is also culpable in all of this because they also sort of, you see, dilly-dallied on this entire issue.
Rahul, let me answer your last question first.
Okay.
Don't forget, it was under our government in 2006 that he was arrested. He remained in jail for 18 months. Not a single person lost their lives. And by the way, let me also tell you, there's no politics in it. He has, in fact, during the recent elections and the Lok Sabha elections, he's actually distributed literature and pamphlets against the Huda government and very directly against the Chief Minister himself. So politics aside, I think this was a form of terrorism. The fact that somebody in India has actually created a human shield out of people who came to him for trust and forcibly has actually, you know, allowed a situation where people have lost their lives. I think this is nothing short of terrorism. This requires, I think, it has to be not just condemned, but I think the law must enforce the most strict punishment and consequence for this action. Because here it tells you that he had absolutely full contempt for the law, for the justice system.
Well, obviously, that's implicit. Unfortunately, no one has come out and taken onus. That's the shocking part in all of this. That's the ambulance. We are being told that in this particular ambulance, Rampal is going to be ferried first for a medical checkup. Nikunj Garg, am I wrong to assume this? We're going to we'll go across to Nikunj Garg in just a few seconds, but this really is the live pictures coming straight out of the ashram there. You can see that door is open at the back of this ambulance, and just a few moments,
Rampal is going to be... point?
Yes, of course. 1 second. I'm just coming out to him, just describing these pictures for our viewers, the benefit of our viewers. This is just outside the periphery, the gate, the main gate really of the ashram. An ambulance is in service, in his attendance. We are being told that Rampal is going to be taken in this ambulance first for a medical checkup. Under the law, because of an NBW that has been issued against him, Brijesh Kalappa also joins us of the Congress. Because of an NBW, he is already principally in the custody of the police. Unless, of course, by some miraculous consequence, his lawyers can produce an order which overrides this NBW, but that's not possible. Larger questions, of course, remain to be answered as to how and who is responsible for this situation, for this war on India, barely 200 kilometers from the national capital. Sanjay Jha, you wanted to add a point.
Rahul.
Yeah.
Rahul, there are reports that I have been reading that the state government was given intelligence information that he is capable of taking some kind of a drastic action and fighting against the police forces. I think the state government, the state home ministry, they have all been very ham-handed and ineffective. And one of the reasons is that this particular group, along with some other Godmen, has been very supportive of the BJP during the election campaign. So there is a political element that cannot be ignored. And I do believe that the way it has been handled, innocent people have died, is a sad manifestation of a very incompetent government exposed within weeks of forming itself in Haryana.
Well, at 8:47 p.m., the police really prepared for the final assault to arrest Godman Rampal from his ashram, unlike on Tuesday when the vicinity of the ashram looked like a war zone when police and Rampal supporters clashed. including small arm firing from inside. The situation was peaceful today. By late evening, a large posse of CRPF personnel was brought to the periphery of the ashram, spread over 12 acres. The centre really helped out, sent about 3 battalions, we are told. Our company's Nikunj Garg joins us. Just talk us through this operation, Nikunj, over the last couple of hours. What's been happening on the ground there? What's expected to happen in the next half an hour, 40 minutes?
Well, Rahul, what is expected to happen is that they have taken him out in an ambulance, and because he has been repeatedly taking the plea that he is medically unwell, medically unfit actually, to stand the process of the law, to be produced in a court of law. The first thing that the Haryana police is intending to do is to get him to a board of doctors. You know, a board has been specially constituted, which I was told during the day, to carry out the postmortems, and the same board will be used to verify the fitness of Baba Rampal, and so that, you know, he is medically certified, fit to be produced in a court of law. Now, that's what's going to happen in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Important thing is that they have taken him out in an ambulance itself, which is also indicative of the fact that they are first going to take him to a hospital and not to a police station.
What we've been told, and Nikunj is the first to confirm it, that Rampal is being taken away in that ambulance. Brijesh Kalappa, your first thoughts?
Well, I'm glad that a fugitive from the law, a person who cocked a snook at the law, a person who caused so much of death and disaster and destruction, has finally been caught, and this is no measure of success for the most inept BJP government, which caused so much of death along the way, and to catch one man, which the Congress government had done on 2 occasions in the past. This is something which is totally reprehensible. But finally, the man has been caught, and this is, of course, we must all give a sigh of relief.
Colonel Kaul, when you look at these pictures,
Rahul, whether it's the Godman, we're talking about Mr. Rampal or whatever, Sant Rampal, or it's Mr. Prabhakaran, who we were talking about a little earlier, they are in the same category, or it's Hafiz Saeed, they are in the same category of terrorists. And I'm sorry to say, we have a political spokesperson sitting here. The way these chaps come into prominence and the way they get away with a lot of things is thanks to the machinations of political parties. I cannot forget 2 things.
Yes.
And this is from my personal experience in Sri Lanka. The first was when we were going into Sri Lanka. We were heckled by none less than Mr. Karunanidhi and his supporters, who threw stones at us and with banners saying Indian Tamil.
No, I understand. The political class needs to answer. I mean, some people will say that Ram Rahim. Some people will say that Ram Rahim was allowed to build himself under a Congress government. Brijesh Kalappa, let's not ignore the facts. This man has never been has never appeared in court.
Let me draw some parallels.
And for 10 years, the Haryana government has been a Congress government under Mr. Huda.
No,
the last 3 years, he has not even appeared in court once. So, let's not airbrush this.
Let me draw some parallels.
Okay, draw some parallels.
Because you brought Rampal into this.
Yes.
You see, the point is that why has Rampal now given a diktat to his followers to support the BJP? The fact is that in 2006, the Congress government got him, kept him in jail for 18 months, right?
Okay.
Again, in 2013, he was arrested yet again, right? And this is the reason he turned against the Congress and, started spewing venom at the Congress.
Nikunj Garg joins me live. Nikunj Garg, one second. Nikunj Garg on the ground there. Nikunj, give us a quick update. I'm coming back to you. Brijesh Kalappa, I'm coming back to you. Nikunj Garg. Nikunj, the latest update. Can you hear me? Yes. Go ahead.
Absolutely clear that Baba Rampal has been taken out.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you, Rahul. The latest update from ground zero is that Baba Rampal has been taken out of his ashram in an ambulance, very clearly pointing to the fact that Haryana government finally cracking the whip and Haryana police finally acting as per the directions of the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Baba Rampal, as they are telling me, would be first taken for a medical inspection, for a medical investigation, because he has been claiming for last at least 1 fortnight that he is medically unfit to face the the processes of the law. Once that certification is done, once that certification process is clear, he would be produced in front of Punjab and Haryana High Court in less than 24 hours from now, because that date, they have a deadline of Friday morning. The Punjab and Haryana High Court has set the deadline of Friday morning for Haryana police to produce Baba Rampal in the court of law. That non-bailable warrant which was pending against them and which became the bone of contention between Punjab and Haryana High Court and Haryana State Administration has finally been executed. He has been taken into police custody. Remember, he will be in police custody from the word go, because there was a pending non-bailable warrant against him. Irrespective of the fact that whether there is a medical board which will declare him fit or unfit, he will remain in police custody for the time being. Rahul?
Okay. Stay on with me, Nikunj. We're joined by other guests this evening. Ashish Khaitan of the Aam Aadmi Party, Shazia Ilmi also with us. We will be joined by GVL Narasimha Rao, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, in just a second or so. Brijesh Kalappa, the national spokesperson of the Congress, with us. Brigadier Mahalingam stays on with us, and so does Colonel Cole. Let me just come out straight to Ashish Khaitan and Shazia Ilmi. Shazia Ilmi, you first. I am shocked by the fact that till now, till date, till this moment, no one has come forward to take responsibility, direct responsibility, for the scenes that we have witnessed over the last 13 days. Are you surprised by this? Are you surprised by this?
Absolutely. No, it's not. No, it's not surprising at all. Now, if you see this man who had his own private army, who owns so much of land, the kind of access he had, and how many people thronged to him, many of whom were beaten and kept by him, but there was no local intelligence reports, and even if there were, nobody knew of it. The previous government, for years and years, just did not know about this, and he was allowed to prosper and blossom and flourish to the level that he has brought a whole government to its knees. And we are watching this bizarre series of events unfold in front of us, which is truly unbelievable that it is happening in front of us, and we seem so helpless. So one is for years and years of patronage, and I can assure you this would not have been possible had there been no strong political patronage, which means that if you fool people, misuse religion, and can show a certain number of people behind you, you can get away with murder quite literally. Which is why this man grew so big and so powerful that nobody knew what was happening, and how can they, I mean, it's shameful. And then to top it, the present government there, the administration, the way they handled it, they botched it up even further. So political interference in the way the district administration runs, the way police handle situations, and political patronage behind these gangsters is responsible for this state of affairs, which I'm sorry to say is pathetic. I mean, it's shameful rather for all of us to watch this.
Mr. Kalappa, respond.
No, I don't think Shazia
you allowed this man to come up.
You know, I think ultimately when she has joined Swachh Bharat campaign, then her mind is also clean towards the BJP. Because, you know, I don't think she knows that this gentleman was kept in jail for 18 months. But
I'm blaming the BJP government also. I told them that it handled it ineptly.
He was arrested.
Please listen.
And now, for some reason, I think after Swachh Bharat, Shazia Ilmi has, totally become
I'm talking about both the parties. Do not know. Please be objective. I'm talking about present administration also.
I'm telling
it's
you.
not about Shazia Ilmi.
No, hang on.
I'm telling you.
I want to ask you a couple of questions, Brijesh Kalappa.
Yes.
Who gave him the land to construct this massive ashram on agricultural property?
You see how somebody acquires land.
That's the key.
No,
because there's patronage. Answer the question.
No, patronage.
Here there is agricultural land, and have you seen the gargantuan structure he's built there? Is it possible? Ashish Khaitan, the Congress government today says, that look, I don't know what we are talking about here. The BJP is principally responsible. They might well be. But isn't the Congress answerable here either? We'll deal with the BJP in just a few moments. We dealt with them yesterday, we dealt with them day before, we dealt with them last Tuesday.
Rahul, one small question.
No, 1 second, let him answer. Ashish Khaitan.
Exactly. What we are witnessing today is the ugly face of Indian politics. We are witnessing a deep-rooted nexus between criminals, mobsters, and elected politicians. we are seeing a umbilical cord between elected governments and Godmen, self-styled Godmen, who are actually running private militias. So it's very disturbing, and it's not just one government which has been brought down to its knees. He has cocked a snook at the very concept, very idea of India. At the very idea of India being a constitutional democracy, being run by the rule of law. He has cocked a snook at the courts of law, at elected governments, at media, at the dignity of life.
Absolutely.
Innocent women and children
GVL Narasimha Rao.
Human shield.
Let me
Today,
bring in
this
GVL
government,
Narasimha Rao.
this whole political class has blood on its hands.
Absolutely. GVL Narasimha Rao.
Both Congress and BJP
on November
have
17th,
blood on their hands.
On November 17, 2 days back, the Punjab and Haryana High Court said this: we don't buy arguments that he is not well. The state government's inability to arrest him will allow even small-time criminals to defy the law. The blame by the courts laid squarely at the doorstep of the Khattar government. And I dare say by extension even at the center.
I think media can interpret it in different ways.
Really?
The same action could have been taken a few days ago, but the same media and the people would have raised the questions about why are you endangering lives of thousands of innocent citizens when all that is required
come
is
on.
one.
Are you
one
questioning the
person to
wisdom of
just
the
go and
Punjab and
appeal in
Haryana
the
High
court
Court,
for
sir?
contempt proceedings?
Are you
would have
questioning
raised
the
same
judgment of the
questions.
court? Are you questioning the wisdom
No,
of
I'm
its
not
lawyers,
questioning.
of its judges? Then what are you saying?
No, certainly not.
It wasn't apparent to them? This wasn't drawn to their attention?
No.
Oh, please.
No, I'm not questioning. I'm saying.
How much soft peddling?
No, I think
How
you
much
have to allow
soft
me to
peddling?
speak.
No, how
Let
much
me
soft
explain
peddling?
myself. Don't jump to conclusion.
Mr.
Don't
Rao,
jump to conclusion.
November 5th was the day when NBWs were
No,
issued.
the kind of
and
the
after
manner
that,
in which the
all kinds
manner
of
in which the
firebombs,
state government
all
has
kinds
come
of
down heavily.
inflammable
I think
material,
please allow me to
stones,
speak, otherwise I'll get up.
Let him
everything was
speak.
carried.
Let him speak. Let him answer.
I think
Let
you
him
ask the gentleman
Let him
to
answer.
keep quiet.
Narasimha Rao, please answer.
Let me, you can contradict me later if you like, but I am saying this government has really commendably handled the situation, brought a man before law, before he has been, the kind of charges that have been filed against him today.
That's not
I
true
think
at all.
Commendably.
Commendably.
Because the Congress government for 10 years has actually allowed this man to build the kind of
Killing
private
of
militia.
citizens.
Sir, someone will say it's condemnably.
I think, Rahul,
In
if
the
you
eye
don't
of
want
the
to listen,
BJP,
then I will not
people
speak.
die.
No, one second.
People lost their lives.
So this is
Please,
good governance
gentlemen,
according
one
to you,
second,
Mr.
one
Rao.
second. Gentlemen, please, let him finish his point. Let's
Look at
conduct
the
this.
manner.
One second.
I will get up, then you can discuss whatever you like.
Narasimha
Now,
Rao,
if you don't want to listen, I will not speak.
Narasimha
I
Rao,
will either listen or I'll get up.
make your points.
No, please, you have to allow me to speak.
Make 3 points quickly so that we can rebut them.
Yeah, so don't intervene in between. Yes.
डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं कर रहा, आपके लोग ही फोन करते हैं देश से बार-बार.
You have a right. The point number 1, 10 years of Congress government has allowed this man to really grow a private militia and arm himself. And that is what led to the problem. He has been escaping law. 42 times he has evaded summons. This Congress government and the chief minister, the former chief minister, and
What
their
was the
state
BJP
president.
doing?
1 minute, let him finish.
Over the last 10 years?
Let him
That
finish.
This man should be
How
dealt
many
with
times did the BJP's
kid
opposition
gloves.
party
Please.
raise the issue?
He has to be.
Please,
He has to
Ashish
be
Khaitan,
dealt
please.
with kid gloves. They want him to be. They want the government to enter into. They want us to enter into negotiations with him. This government has done it commendably because we have really brought him out.
Okay.
We have really
Okay.
forced him to come before the
Okay.
before the police.
Okay, hold your
and
thoughts.
the Congress has a lot of things to answer.
Okay, hold your
Why
thoughts.
are they soft peddling him?
Okay, hold
Why
your
are they
thoughts.
supporting him?
Okay, hold your thoughts. I have to
Why
go
are
across
they
to
speaking
Nikunj
in his favor
Garg.
even
Okay, one
today?
second. I have to go across to Nikunj Garg, who joins me from Ground Zero. Nikunj Garg, over to you.
अब बोलना, अब मैं बोलूँगा. Well, Rahul, I have, around me a bunch of very angry and agitated people, and they all are saying that this is an issue that, precisely the point that you're trying to make, that this is an issue that people, the previous government, successive state administrations should have nipped in the bud, and this is not a question of present state government which has been in power for 3 weeks, but the question should also be asked to the people who were governing the state for what the people have to say. आप क्या कह रहे थे उस समय? आप मुझे बता रहे थे कि क्या समस्या है पूरा?
मैं कह रहा हूँ जो आज एक्शन आज हुआ है ये 10 साल पहले होना चाहिए था। कांग्रेस ने कदम क्यों नहीं उठाया? 2006 में, 2010 में, 13 में कांग्रेस क्या कर दी? कांग्रेस सो रही थी क्या? कुछ भी नहीं किया। आज कह रहे हैं कि इस्तीफा दो, फलाना दो, ढिंगा दो, इतने कांड हो रहे, इतना कुछ हो रहा है, जिम्मेदार कौन है? ये सरकार बनी 15 दिन से, कांग्रेस सरकार 10 साल।
लेकिन ये बताइए कि 15 दिन में अभी जिस तरीके से इस ऑपरेशन को किया, उसको आप ठीक मानते हैं? क्या ये ठीक? आप
काफी लेट हुआ सर, 15 दिन काफी लेट हुआ प्रोग्राम। ये जो ऑपरेशन हुआ, अगर थोड़ा सा टाइम पहले हो जाता, इतना मौका नहीं मिलता मीडिया के थ्रू, जिस तरह, सॉरी मीडिया नहीं, अपने सरकारी तरफ बाबा रामपाल को पहले गिरफ्तार कर लेते। सीआरपीएफ जो अभी आई है, जो कमांडो दस्ता हमारे अभी आए हैं, अगर इसके खुद के ब्लैक कमांडो है, वो क्यों है? किसके सपोर्ट हो रहा है? उसके पास किसी का हाथ है, चाहे बड़ा नेता का हो, चाहे किसी की बड़ी पावर, पैसों की पावर है सर। अगर वही चीज अगर वो पहले कर लेते तो पहले गिरफ्तार हो जाता, इतना बड़ा तिरंगाबाजी नहीं होता जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट।
आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं कि सब लोगों की बराबर की गलती है कि किस तरह?
मैं बताता हूँ, जो उस टाइम पे 121 बसें जो क्रोथा आश्रम से भर के बरवाड़ा आश्रम में आई थी, वो किसकी देन है? वो हुड्डा सरकार की देन है। हुड्डा सरकार के टाइम में वो 121 बसें आई थी, उन्हीं में वो विपन आए थे, जिसकी वजह से आज ये कांड हुआ है।
ऐसा है, ये एक देशद्रोही है, इसके ऊपर देशद्रोह का मुकदमा चलाना चाहिए। पुलिस को चाहिए था कि इसको यही इनकाउंटर मार देते, इसको गिरफ्तार कर जीवित नहीं पकड़ना था।
Okay, Rahul. So Rahul, if I can ask you can see that there are radical kind of views coming out from people, but these are also the people, Rahul.
No, Nikunj, who are these individuals? Were they ones inside the ashram? Are they supporters? Who are these individuals? Obviously, they're not supporters. Who are these individuals? Can you help us identify some of them?
At least one of them,
The Congress says these are BJP workers.
At least one of them is an individual who has just come out from that entire. No, that's absolutely incorrect. These are absolutely neutral people. These are people who are from various walks of life who have been suffering. And Rahul, I can testify that I have been here at least 24 hours. I have spoken to at least hundreds of people. Today 200 people I must have spoken to on that street that was leading up to the ashram. There was a crowd of at least 5,000 people that had gathered there, curious onlookers, people whose livelihood is being suffering. There are people here. There's a gentleman who runs an NIT center. He's telling me that his staff is not coming because there's a curfew-like situation. His students are not coming to the center. Then there is an ordinary businessman who's telling me that it's a curfew-like situation and his entire business has gone bust for at least 5 days now because of such a heavy and robust process of the security administration and security forces in the city. And I must also tell you, these are not the people. There's one gentleman who's here who has just brought out one injured victim and got him admitted into one of the hospitals, to whom I just spoke to. So I mean, it would be extremely unfair on the part of any of the panelists to say
it would be unfair, Brijesh Khanappa. No, 1 second. It would be unfair. No, 1 second. Let's take this piece by piece. No, 1 second. Let's take this piece by piece. Let's take this piece by piece. Answer first the 3 points that have been made by GVL Narasimha Rao. These seem to be borne out by our correspondent who has spoken with individuals who have come from different walks of life, who are affected in Hisar by this standoff. These are not card-carrying members of the BJP.
No, how do you know they're not card-carrying members?
Because
I trust
my reporter.
Nikunj Garg doesn't have some kind of a scanner to check who's speaking.
I'm sorry, please. He would have vetted. He would have vetted this. We would have conducted.
I don't given the benefit of doubt.
Do you want a poll to be held there?
I don't think so.
Brijesh Khanappa, one second. Forget it. For a moment, let's expunge. 1 second. For a moment, let's expunge the remarks that we've heard from the record of this debate.
Right.
Now let's address the issue.
Right.
10 years of Congress government, how has this man acquired so much land?
See, how
has he been able to build, 1 second, how has he been able to build this massive mansion, this gargantuan palace on agricultural land? Who cleared these land holdings? For what purpose? Where were the plans? Are they sanctioned?
See, this is an
issue. 1 second. I've been told. No, 1 second. Vijay Khanappa, 1 second.
Which you're raising for the very first time.
I'm not raising it for the first time. 1 second. 1 second. It's an obvious question. 1 second.
Raise this issue
I'm asking you a question.
10 years?
That doesn't
matter. Did anybody in the opposition raise this issue in the last 10 years?
42 times Rampal has evaded.
You tell me why
Please, let me finish.
Why did Rampal ask Why did Rampal ask his supporters to vote for the BJP in 3 constituencies, Tohana, Uklana and Barwala? Tell me this.
Okay, and should the BJP have taken that particular support? That's your corollary question?
No, no. Okay, then what does it mean? It means that he's proliferated his business on account of the BJP. Why else will he be supporting the BJP in these elections? You tell me that. Everybody knows why he supported the BJP.
Narasimha Rao, please answer that.
You know, Rahul, every time you ask Mr. Kalappa a question, he will do a counter question.
We have not taken support from anybody.
Of course you have 3 constituencies, everybody knows this. This is not a state secret.
He is a follower of Rampal.
Sir, please, let me ask you a direct question. You know, on this particular point, one second, on this particular point, no, one second, on this particular point, I think the BJP has something to answer for. You have another individual, the Dera Sacha Soda chief, a man who is being investigated by the CBI, who has murder and rape charges against him. He came out and pledged support to the BJP also, Mr. Narasimha Rao. Why does the BJP need the support of these individuals? Why didn't the BJP just come out and said, we are not interested in your support before the elections? We don't deal with criminals. It didn't say that, Mr. Narasimha Rao.
If somebody gives it on their own accord.
You could have come out and said, we don't need your crutch. Yes, please, tell us. Tell us, sir. Mr. Narasimha Rao, tell us, are you there?
Are you asking me this question?
Yes, sir, I'm asking you this question.
Yeah. Let me give you a very, very, very blunt answer. I think I don't want to really make any bones about it.
Okay.
I think in politics, I think you need support of the people. So there are a lot of people with the mass following, and you will actually go and talk to all opinion leaders who can actually influence and support you. This is what Aam Aadmi Party does. This is what Congress Party does. This is what BJP does. And there is nobody who is really an exception to this. Let's not really fool ourselves into believing that you won't really go around taking support or seeking support of people who are opinion leaders. We are not going into this. Does not mean that they can be offered any kind of a protection.
Okay.
This is what the Congress Party has done. They have mixed up politics and governance. They have allowed this man.
Okay, let's get responses. 1 second, one at a time. One at a time.
I want to rebut this. 1 second.
Yes, Ashish Khaitan wants to come in.
This is a false accusation.
1 second.
This is a false accusation.
Aam Aadmi Party leaders have been found on camera.
Mr. Narasimha Rao, you need to be patient.
Hang on.
You need to be patient. Mr. Narasimha Rao, you need to be patient. Now you have to listen to the others. China NC, you need to listen to the others. And Aditya Kala, I'm going to be coming to you in just a second.
Now your government, your BJP government,
I'm only listening.
Your government in Haryana is responsible for the killing of 6 innocent citizens, including a 1-year baby. Now listen to me. Was it Aam Aadmi Party which had a one-on-one meeting with Baba Ram Rahim? Who went with folded hands to Baba Ram Rahim? Who paraded his candidates before Baba Ram Rahim? And who was Baba Ram Rahim?
1 second.
When Amit Shah, when BJP candidates were parading, bowing their heads before Baba Ram Rahim. He is an accused. He is an accused in the case of rape and murder. Didn't you bow your heads before the accused of rape and murder?
1 minute.
Who has a nexus with Baba Ram Rahim?
Okay.
You need to answer this. Whose national president had a one-on-one meeting seeking blessings of a man who is accused of raping and murdering
from all kinds of elements in Delhi on Delhi polls.
You,
okay,
the BJP,
okay,
Amit Shah,
responses.
who is himself responsible.
Colonel Kaul wants to come in.
May I please respond, Rahul?
1 minute, Colonel Kaul wants to come in.
In the case of rape and murder,
1 second, 1 second.
Rape
Let
and
me
murder
please,
accused
because this is
needs
a point
another
about
Okay.
the party.
Okay, China NC.
Arvind
rape and murder
Kejriwal falling
accused
at the
has
feet
a
of a
truck with another
Maulana
rape and
One
murder
second.
accused.
issues a fatwa.
Yeah,
1 second.
China
Don't
NC,
bring
make your
in-
point. 1
Don't
second.
reduce it
You
to
know, the
Aam
problem
Aadmi
with
Party.
Ashish
party
Khaitan,
is
1
they
second.
listen to anyone. And
1
they
second,
want to
Ashish
say
Khaitan.
everybody
BJP
is
versus Aam Aadmi
Let's have an
Party
orderly
debate.
debate
We'll
here.
have it another day.
Let
This
the
is the situation.
BJP
You
respond.
have
Ashish
Arvind
Khaitan, 1 minute,
Kejriwal
please.
falling. You
Yes.
have Arvind Kejriwal falling at the feet. You have
who has taken MIM support in Maharashtra.
Don't bring in. He will debate
Shaina,
that
who has taken MIM support in Maharashtra, Shaina?
And all of that is fine. You
Has the
can have
BJP
your
not
own,
taken MIM support?
allegiance to Godman.
After flogging the MIM through their videos,
Big talk. We
have
have
you
not
not gone
taken
and sought the
support from
support of the
anyone.
MIM now?
We have not taken support from anyone.
Gentlemen, one second. You know, if you're all going to speak,
democracy, you will have
ladies and gentlemen,
society that chooses
ladies and gentlemen,
political parties at their own
one
accord.
second. If you're all going to speak over each other, you're not going to be heard.
This huge facade
one second.
of pretending to
please,
be holier than thou.
Please, if you're all going to be speaking over each other, one second. Ashish Khaitan, please. If we are all going to speak over each other, Ashish Khaitan,
one should never forget that.
Ashish Khaitan, if we are all going to speak over each other, we're not going to be heard. You can keep blaring into your microphones, nothing is going to come off it. So let's proceed with some order. I want to bring in Advaita Kala and I also want to bring in Colonel. One second. First, Advaita Kala. Advaita Kala, what do you make of all of this? Political blame game going on. Who's responsible?
Yes. Well, you know, I mean, I'm going to speak very quickly because with so many politicians on your panel, this is probably the only chance I'm going to get. So, to be very brief, I think there is a temptation, depending on your political affiliation, to associate this or to attribute this whole, I don't know, this crazy situation to one political party or the other. The bottom line is that this man has had a rap sheet since 2006. So he has thrived under the previous dispensation. There's some talk that there was some conflict also, but he has managed to thrive and grow his devotee base. And in the present, as far as the present circumstances and the government is concerned, you have a government that is being resolute, but at the same time, someone who's mishandled the entire situation, considering he is up for murder charges based on the fact that his followers had ammunition and were shooting people and one man died. It's common sense to assume that they would still have ammunition and still be armed, but it's just been entirely mishandled. But because I'm going to look at this from the point of view of a civilian or a person not with any kind of political leaning, so to say, I think we also have to look at this in terms of a social problem. You know, where you have these devotees, and if you look at what he speaks of, I mean, he's basically created a religious order which is extremely attractive to the poor. It's very poor friendly, so there's no dowry, there is food and lodging for the poor. There are no rituals, expensive rituals. So he's basically drawn this base to him in a sense because society and the state and political parties have failed. So I think this is a much deeper issue than who's to blame, whether the Congress or the BJP.
Well, for the moment, we'll have to look at it. Okay, yes. Colonel Kaul.
As a non-partisan, non-political entity on this debate, I have only one submission to make to all these political heavyweights sitting on this debate. Right from the days of Dhirendra Brahmachari down to Bhindranwale, down to Maharaj Yogi, etc., etc., you can keep naming them. Each political party has taken the crutch of religion to propagate its views and its feelings. I think India has moved on. India has moved on.
But to say then, therefore, Colonel, that the situation was, you see, handled condemnably. Would you agree with that?
I think it was handled very
commendably,
poorly, because it took 14 days.
Condemnably or
condemnably, because it took 14 days to flush out one man.
Absolutely. Mr. Rao, you just look at this. You look at the situation, and I'm only going to read out 5 extracts. 5 extracts for you. First of all,
6 innocent lives.
One second. It took the court to appoint an amicus curiae. Can you imagine that? An amicus curiae. The court would never have to have appointed an amicus curiae if someone was doing their job. Amicus curiae, and listen to his observations on Rampal, sir, before you answer. Both Shaina NC and Mr. Rao will have to answer. On 18 November 2014, in court, the amicus curiae says, during the hearing, the amicus curiae pressed for immediate cancellation of Rampal's bail, saying the credibility of the entire judicial system would be at stake if his bail was not cancelled. So you had a situation where even his bail was not being cancelled because the Haryana government found itself, the Advocate General found himself speaking for this individual. Haryana government representative on Rampal on that particular date, on the 18th of November. Let me enumerate the facts here. Please, let me finish.
Rahul.
No, please let me finish.
This is...
Mr. Rao, please let me finish.
This is factually incorrect.
I am not.
Factually incorrect.
Sir, please, I'm quoting an individual. I bear responsibility.
No,
One second, please.
I can show it to you.
No, Mr. Rao, please, you've got to listen to me once. Please let me finish. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's...
One second. Haryana government, represented by the State Additional Advocate General, also supported the amicus curiae and demanded the cancellation of his bail in wake of his unacceptable conduct.
Yes.
However, Rampal's counsel sought continuation of bail, saying he was granted exception from personal appearance by the trial court. You know what happened in this particular case, sir? You had a situation where the police bails this individual out. The police came out and bailed this individual out, upholding his medical condition as a reason for him to be mollycoddled by the state. This is what happened. And don't tell us, sir, today that the police is completely independent of its political masters. I wouldn't believe that. Yes.
No, come on, Rahul. On 18th November, amicus curiae is appointed in a number of cases. So let's not think this is this amicus curiae is there to assist the court. And it does happen in a large number of cases. So there is no exception to this particular case, number one. Number two, whatever amicus curiae presented before the Honorable Court yesterday, the Additional Advocate General supported that view. Additional Advocate General asked for cancellation of bail. And there was no difference of opinion. And the kind of actions that have been taken against Mr. Rampal yesterday, the kind of charges that have been filed against him today, does not really indicate, even by a remote stretch of imagination, that the state government is going soft on him. The state government has slapped all possible charges.
November 5th, 2014. Now, today, 14 days later, November 5th, 2014 was the first NBW. What happened to that NBW? We don't know. Let me go back to Nikunj Garg. Nikunj Garg on the ground. Nikunj Garg, on November 5th, an NBW was issued by the court. Why couldn't it be served on Mr. Rampal? Can you tell us this?
Yes, exactly.
Well, Rahul, the sequence of event itself is a testimony of the fact that the state government, followed by its lead law enforcement arm, the Haryana police, has been of no good. You know, we can keep blaming regime after regime. I do not want to get into the business of blaming the previous regime or this regime. The fact is, when a non-bailable, you know, for the last 3 weeks, Punjab and Haryana High Court has been breathing down the neck of the Haryana state administration, law enforcement machinery, the civil administration, and saying that this NBW has to be executed. You have to produce Mr. Rampal in this court of law. But that hasn't happened. It hasn't happened under this government. And it hasn't happened under the same leadership of the Haryana police. That is finally headed by the Director General of Police, who was holding a press conference even today in Chandigarh, saying that Haryana police has done a commendable job. No, one doesn't understand that if a law enforcement arm of the state cannot execute one non-bailable warrant, how is it that it has accomplished a commendable job? Now, the fact is that Punjab and Haryana High Court went up to the extent of saying that if you cannot execute one non-bailable warrant against one murder accused, there is no business of you running the entire law enforcement machinery of the state. So, you know, you can keep blaming the regimes. The fact is, it's simply a question of rule of the law. In front of the eyes of law, every individual is equal, and the state must have the capability to execute those warrants, execute those summons.
Why was the state so ineffective, Shazia Ilmi? Why was the state so ineffective, Shazia Ilmi? Can you give me one reason?
You know, let me please respond.
Absolutely, the state was ineffective because of you. Please, Rahul, I just want to say 3 things here, 3 short points. Look at the politics of this country. Whether it's Shahi Imam Bukhari, whether it's any of these saints, or don't call them saints, whether it's Yogi Adityanath, just because they have certain clout and they use religion, we let them be. Regime after regime. And also the second and most important question that you raised that the police instead, the law and order enforcement bodies, because they are simply puppets and they work at the behest of the political masters, nothing can be done. Look at the poor state of affairs, and third and most importantly, these poor people, such a wretched life they lead that they have to consider a criminal a saint. Look at how sad things are in this country, where there is a political class and how they have to be subservient to these false spirit leaders,
yes.
where there is bureaucracy which has to listen to its political masters, and is totally rendered inept and useless and ineffective. And lastly, the people, they have such a sad life that a criminal and a gangster like this person has to be called a sant. So actually it's a very sad state of affairs, and not a single party is looking at that and asking these questions which need to be asked.
Okay, well, there are some pictures that we are playing out. These are pictures from inside the ambulance of Satpal being taken away in that ambulance. Shaina NC, would you like to respond to the pointed arguments that have been made by Shazia Ilmi?
See, if we were not completely committed to ensuring that law and order situation prevailed, please answer a few fundamental questions. Why would we deploy 10,000 police personnel? Why would we try to ensure that there are no casualties vis-a-vis the devotees or the sycophants or whatever you want to call them, who are sitting and kind of creating a fortress around, whether it is mothers, whether it is children, etc. Unfortunately, we all know that yesterday, with the slightest bit of aggression on the part of the police, even the media people were injured. Now, to come to a logical conclusion on a situation such as this, are we all in tandem that he is a culprit? Yes, obviously.
The media was injured because the police beat the media.
In working proactively,
the police frustrated.
Charges?
The police frustrated because
exactly
the media was covering this relentlessly and exposing them, turned on the media. How can you make that claim?
We have said yesterday itself. We have said yesterday itself
that's not a good
that it
remark
was
to
very
make.
unfortunate.
That is not an above board remark to make.
I think unfortunately the police is so incompetent that they can't handle a situation.
No. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I am saying that if the police is in...
Typical case of shooting the messenger.
I am making only 2 points, that if we were not committed to this cause, we wouldn't have sought help from the centre, we wouldn't have had 10,000 police force present there.
You ran out of options, ma'am.
Where we are trying
you had no choice.
Absolutely.
Given by the High Court of Haryana, what other options?
There was a deadline. Friday is a deadline.
That's very easy for you to say.
No, it's not easy for anyone to say, ma'am. These are the facts.
Ask
5th
the
November,
Congress where
17th November,
this so-called
18th November,
Godman
19th November.
Emerged out of 10 years and this kind of amassing of wealth, property, etc.
Yes,
is it courtesy us or is it courtesy someone else? We have inherited a situation where we are trying to...
Just something like this happens, Rahul, it's appalling. No, let's make one comment on this. That, you know, just as all this is happening,
and I just want to make one quick point because you've given me only one chance.
Seems to get Z plus category security. It's appalling. The kind of politics that the BJP is doing is thoroughly appalling. That one man is here on the run, and then another gentleman who has a dubious distinction of having, caused the disappearance of several people.
Quick response, Shaina NC, then I want to bring in Ashish Ketan.
Z plus category security.
Quick response.
It's all very well when you fall flat on the feet of Maulvis and all kinds of other
arrest all of them.
Leaders.
Arrest all the Maulvis you're speaking about.
If there is a law and order situation
we didn't give anybody Z plus category security.
Who requires
don't be absurd on this show,
it is the prerogative of the state government or for that matter the Home Department. I don't think that the Congress is worth responding to, because they would probably answer who gave them this kind of wealth and this kind of property in Haryana before we even step ahead.
You even raised the issue once during your regime and during your office in
Ma'am, I just have to, on that account, I think both parties are equally culpable. Asaram Bapu in Gujarat, Asaram Bapu in Gujarat got away with a lot more. Please.
And we were the government, Rahul, who
15 years.
demolished all his illegal activities.
Once again, it was the media.
Government.
Once again, it became. No, hang on. Once second. Once again, it became. Once again, it became.
Before the media even brought it to light.
Please, China
the media was beaten up in Asaram's case. The media was again beaten up.
There is a pattern here. Just when the political class finds itself completely cornered, do they wake up? Ashish Khaitan wants to come in. Ashish Khaitan wants to make a point. Ashish Khaitan wants to make a point. Ashish Khaitan.
I want to underscore a few broad points. A government which has allowed the loss of 6 innocent lives under its watch cannot call its police operation as commendable. 1. 2, a government which has allowed the situation to go out of control. For 3 days, there was mayhem, anarchy, women and children being used as cannon fodder, cannot say that the police did a good job. It was a botched-up operation. 1 second. 2, why do we have such a scenario where the government finds it very difficult to crack down on self-styled Godman? Does any government, do these political parties exercise zero tolerance towards crime and criminals?
What happens when you fall
flat
at
is
their
no.
feet?
When before the elections you seek the support of self-styled Godmen involved in serious cases,
so you've been doing
as serious as rape and murder,
you are
only
seek their blessings,
you win elections with their support, then after the election there is pressure on you to return the favor. Now I want to know, when will you crack down on Baba Ram Rahim? Will you crack down on Baba Ram Rahim? When will you remove all those who are involved in criminal charges, in criminal cases from your cabinet? In the center, in Maharashtra, in Haryana, in Gujarat?
When you stop...
May I remind Shaina?
Don't you have
May I remind
40
Shaina
MLAs
that it was the same...
BJP,
It
40
was the
MLAs
same
in
Shahi
Maharashtra
Imam who
with
supported the
criminal
BJP in
including cases of rape and murder.
2004. Shaina NC, are you aware that the same Shahi Imam supported the BJP in 2004?
Mr. Rao wants to come in.
You don't
Mr.
have
Rao
the policy of zero tolerance towards crime and
Okay, Mr. Rao wants to come in also.
As long
1
as
second.
you will continue to
continue
to have struck with crime,
Okay,
with
1 second.
criminals, with mobsters and gangsters of political gain.
Okay, let's not get into this slanging match,
These
please.
gangsters and mobsters will feel that they have the license to bring down the government.
Fine, you made some points. Ashish Khaitan, you made 3 points broadly. Mr. Rao, respond to them point by point. Point by point. Will you?
Take on the people
1 second. 1 second. Will you? Mr. Rao.
Yes,
will you?
Let me raise
3
my
points.
point.
3 points.
I'm not going to answer his questions. Let me raise some questions.
So then let me ask you.
Members of Aam Aadmi Party, I think who are journalists earlier, who still think they can wear a journalistic cap and then raise questions. They have a lot of questions to answer.
You put Aam Aadmi Party in power in Haryana.
I think when their own leader, Mr. Kejriwal, does not believe in constitution.
The Aam Aadmi Party would have run away by now.
Put us in power in Maharashtra.
He does not want to follow the rule of law. He wants to create anarchy on the streets of Delhi. He doesn't want to allow January 26th parade. How is he a law-abiding citizen? I think let the Aam Aadmi Party reform itself before raising questions against other political parties.
Don't let this... You will not be allowed
1 second, Mr. Rao.
to get away today.
This is there before media, the national media. This is all before national media.
One at a time.
Kejriwal has spoken in front of the
One
media.
at a time.
There is live...
He said... What he said?
It is live...
Now, if you want to debate the Rail Bhavan agitation, we are ready to debate it.
No, 1 second. Gentlemen, 1 second. One at a time, please.
I give that patent to
Please,
you.
1 second. Gentlemen, let's not. Please. No slanging match. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Let's go point by point. I want to ask you, Mr. Rao, since you don't want to answer Ashish Khaitan, I want to ask you a very specific question. Very specific question. Why, on November 5th, was the NBW against Rampal not executed? 14 days ago. Why?
No, I think the police have definitely tried to the situation. The build-up was such. And it was not possible for them to really, they needed a crackdown. I concede, had there been a crackdown that day, he could have brought before the court of law. But the same damage would have happened even on November 5. And the court would have questioned, the media would have questioned, why did you not allow him time?
Rahul,
It was the case
one
of
second.
man
No, 1 minute,
before
please.
the court. So I think what the Haryana government has done, what the Haryana government has done is commendable.
Allow me.
Because you allowed a man to come before the law.
Allow me
before
to
the court of
interject
law,
here.
When he has exhausted all options.
No, allow me to interject here, Mr. Rao. The media would never have questioned. The media would never have questioned because you would have legitimately been conducting or executing an NBW issued by a court of this land. Therefore, the media would not have been sitting in judgment of Mr. Khattar. We would perhaps say that you acted swiftly. You acted swiftly. That's only one of the questions. You haven't answered that question, sir. You've dodged me. So please reply. Why did it take 14 days to do what you've done today? And let me tell you, 2 more NBWs were issued. November 17 and November.
Yes.
And 3 different
One second.
affidavits.
Let him answer. Let him answer.
Rahul, it's not as if it's not as if warrants could have been issued to him without a huge collateral damage. I think the police, the establishment, they were expecting this man to really come before the law. I think there is no precedent in this country of somebody who calls himself a sant, endangering the lives of women, children, in thousands of numbers. Can you cite any precedent of this kind in this country before? In the last 100 years?
So why did you seek his support?
There is no precedent.
Why did you seek his support to win elections?
So therefore, the state government...
Prabhakaran, how many more examples do you want?
No, come on, you have been taking his support. I think Mr. Huda's wife is the devotee of this Sant Rampal.
So tell me, sir, why is it therefore this Sant Rampal decided to switch over?
Your Congress is very strongly.
So what happened? What happened? Why did Mr. Sant Rampal kick aside Mr. Huda and support Mr. Khattar? What happened? What happened in the last 3-4 months, sir?
What makes you think so? What makes you think so? Because one Congress gentleman says this, it doesn't become a reality.
Okay.
The sympathies of the Congress leadership is known even today. They are making statements even today that he should be given, there should be a peaceful dialogue with him.
Okay. So let me now come to the second question.
Hard on this person.
1 second. Let me now come to the second question.
And the Congress state president want some kind of a negotiation.
Fair enough. Let me come to the second question. Now you have a situation where there is another individual called Dera Sacha Soda Chief, Ram Rahim. Are you going to arrest him? Are you going to throw him into prison? Look at the cases against him, sir.
Rahul?
Yes.
No, Rahul.
Yes.
I think we are not going to, we have not offered any protection to anybody.
Okay.
You give me any example.
Okay. Let me,
I think these are patent lies.
Let me open this up.
Being made against us.
Okay.
And all kinds of investigations will carry on. The courts are independent.
I'm going to ask the Congress now.
We don't have any say over the jurisdiction of the courts.
The reason I'm bringing up Ram Rahim, is because for years altogether, he has not appeared in court in person. For years altogether, he has ignored the summons. And for years altogether, sir, for 10 years, the Congress was in power in Haryana. You created Gurmeet Ram Rahim.
No, I don't know on what basis you say this, Rahul. There's really no basis to say this.
Really?
But no.
The courts are all lying.
No,
what are you trying to say? What do you mean there is a basis? There's no basis. I mean,
let's focus on this issue.
Now let's debate the basis, sir.
No, wait.
How can you say there's no basis?
Wait, if there is basis, let the BJP arrest him. Let the government arrest him.
Why? Why, sir? Why are you deflecting? Answer the question. What happened? CBI investigates Baba Ram Rahim. For 10 years, till May, you were in power at the center. It wasn't the BJP, it wasn't the NDA, it was the UPA.
There's never
What
been
stopped you?
There's
What
never been
stopped you?
occasion, Rahul.
There's never been occasion.
No, 1 minute.
Do you want to go over the facts with me?
No, there's never been an occasion.
You want me? I'll take you date by date.
See, I've not come prepared to discuss.
That's not
Ram
my
Rahim.
problem, sir.
I'm not, sir,
That's,
it
you
might
can't
not
come
be
here.
a problem.
You can't
but
come
I
here
don't
and
know
tell
that
me.
you
can't
ask somebody
come
who
here and tell
knows.
me that you will make
Then
accusations.
you ask
when
somebody who
questions are
knows.
asked of you,
See, I didn't make a single accusation about Ram Rahim. I didn't make a single accusation about Ram Rahim.
Rampal. You made accusations against the BJP.
Of course I did.
You've said
because
they've been given patronage. So I'm asking you,
yeah.
Let's look at the other side of the coin. I'm talking about Baba Ram Rahim and his political affiliations and his misdemeanors and his long history sheet and what the Congress has done.
No. Well,
there was a standoff.
If you're saying that there are misdemeanors, has not the BJP taken his support today? Has not the BJP taken his support?
We've gone over
why
that.
Did they take his support?
I'm not saying, I don't carry a brief for the BJP.
So then let the BJP answer why they're not arresting him now. You're not in power just now.
1 second.
Because
there is a course of law, there's an investigation going on.
But you could have,
no, 1 second.
But you could have facts.
No, 1 second. Baba Ram Rahim could have been acted against by the Congress, by the UPA government, by our own Chief Minister, Mr. Huda, anytime over the last 10 years. What happened?
See, Rahul,
he hasn't even appeared in court, sir.
I have already told you, Rahul.
He hasn't even appeared in court.
No, then why are these... See, ultimately, how did this situation arise? This situation arose as a consequence of Rampal's situation.
We are not discussing Rampal.
As a consequence of a court order.
I am today unmasking all political parties. I don't carry a brief for the Congress or the BJP.
Has any court order not been complied with by the Congress regime?
I am asking all...
Has any court order not been complied with by the Congress regime? I ask you now, merely because Rahul wants somebody arrested. We don't go ahead and arrest somebody.
What do you mean arrested? It's not Rahul Shivshankar here.
No, then what do you say? You're saying that you wanted him arrested. Why did the Congress not arrest him? I have no idea why he was not arrested.
Why don't you have an idea? It's very convenient, sir, when you say, I have no idea, you see.
If I can butt in,
yes, please.
My good friend sitting here just now mentioned that the BJP was in opposition for 10 years. What does it do? Sir, you are now in opposition. What are you going to do about it?
About what, sir?
About this issue that we are discussing.
About this issue?
Are you with him? Are you with him or are you against him?
No, of course we are with him. We are with the BJP for having arrested him. But we are saying that this kind of collateral...
I am talking Ram Rahim.
Of course, arrest him.
This guy is gone.
Arrest him. Get him.
Well, let me just quickly go across to Priyank Tripathi. Gentlemen, just hold your thoughts once again. I'm coming back to all the panelists in just a few seconds. I want to bring in Priyank Tripathi. Priyank Tripathi, give us the latest from the ground.
See, Rahul, Sant Rampal has been arrested, as we know, and he has been taken for the medical checkup, although the cops are saying that he'll be kept in the jail. But it appears that this is the wrong information which is being circulated by Haryana police, because in night, no person...
Jawahar Yadav is with us. Jawahar Yadav is also with us. Priyank, stay on with me. He is from the PM Secretariat. Mr. Yadav, give us the latest, sir. Mr. Yadav, give us the latest. हमें बताइए क्या हो रहा है?
देखिए, अभी जो है कि रामपाल को गिरफ्तार करने में पुलिस कामयाब रही है। इस सरकार ने जो दो चुनौती स्वीकार की थी, जो चुनौती दो सरकार के सामने थी, सबसे पहले ये महत्वपूर्ण चुनौती ये थी कि जिस तरह से वहां लोगों को बंधक बना के रखा गया था, महिलाओं को, बच्चों को, उनको सुरक्षित बाहर निकालना, और उसके बाद जो कानून का आरोपी है उस आरोपी को पकड़ना। तो मैं मानता हूं इस मिशन की दो उपलब्धियां थी, दो मिशन के टारगेट थे, दोनों के दोनों टारगेट करने में, ये पूरा करने में ये सरकार सफल रही है, हरियाणा पुलिस सफल रही है, बगैर कोई गोली चलाए।
यादव साहब, मुझे बताया जा रहा है कि पूरे दिन रामपाल के साथ बातचीत चली सरकार की। आप ये कंफर्म कर सकते हैं? बैक चैनल टॉक्स जिसको कहा जाता है, जवाहर यादव साहब।
सरकार की कोई बातचीत नहीं चली। सरकार की इससे पहले जो भी बातचीत हुई थी, जब तक वहां 15,000 लोग बंधक थे, तब निश्चित रूप से ये बातचीत जरूर थी। उनको समझाया गया था कि आप कानून के नियमों का पालन कीजिए, आप भारत में रहते हैं, भारत के संविधान का सम्मान कीजिए और अपने आप को माननीय न्यायालय के समय प्रस्तुत कीजिए। उन्होंने उन चीजों को माना नहीं, परंतु जब से ये मिशन चलना शुरू हुआ उसके बाद से कोई उनके ऊपर उनसे कोई बातचीत नहीं गई। मिशन का टारगेट था सीधा पहले वहां
14 दिन पहले एनबीडब्ल्यू इशू हुआ था जवाहर यादव साहब इनके खिलाफ। उस टाइम इनको गिरफ्तार क्यों नहीं किया? नवंबर 5 की बात कर रहा हूं
मैं जानता हूं जो आप मुझे बता रहे हैं, परंतु पहले भी वहां कुछ लोग थे, उसके बाद वहां लोगों की संख्या बढ़ती गई। हमारे सामने वहां आरोपी थे, वहां रामपाल थे।
नवंबर 5 की बात कर रहा हूं सर।
मैं आपकी बात से सहमत हूं। मेरा उत्तर ले लीजिए मेरे मित्रवर। मैं ये कहता हूं कि वहां जो आरोपी थे वहां रामपाल थे, उसके साथ कुछ और लोग थे, परंतु पूरे लोग वहां आरोपी नहीं थे। उनकी धार्मिक आस्था, चाहे उससे आप सहमत है असहमत हो सकते हैं, मैं सहमत और असहमत हो सकता हूं। अपनी धार्मिक आस्था के चलते अगर कोई व्यक्ति किसी आश्रम में गया और जब तक वो समाज के लिए हानिकारक नहीं बना, तब तक उसको किसी के मौलिक अधिकारों का उल्लंघन कम से कम लोकप्रिय मनोहर खट्टर जी की सरकार तो नहीं कर सकती।
जवाहर यादव साहब, मुझे एक चीज बताइए। हमें बताया जा रहा है कि इनके आश्रम में बंदूकें थी, बम थे, ये अंदर कैसे पहुंच गए? आपको कोई हवा नहीं लगी इसकी?
ऐसा मैं आपसे सहमत हूं कि पिछले 10 साल में ऐसा क्यों होता रहा कि
10 साल में
एक मिनट बात कर लेता हूं। पिछले 10 साल में ऐसा क्या होता रहा कि एक आश्रम किले के रूप में तब्दील हो गया? ऐसा कैसे हुआ कि इन लोगों को हथियार अंदर दिए गए? तो निश्चित रूप से जो आपका दर्द है, जो पर्सन आपका है, मेरा भी वही पर्सन है कि पिछले 10 साल में ऐसा क्या होता रहा, उसकी भी हम जांच कराएंगे।
यादव जी, इनकी जो जमीन है ये जब्त होगी?
नहीं, ये इसके लिए देखिए कानूनी दाव पेच है, उसमें कानून अपना काम करेगा। पूर्वाग्रह से हम कोई काम नहीं करेंगे।
मगर कानून के इनकी इंक्वायरी होगी। इन्होंने लैंड लॉज का उल्लंघन कैसे किया? एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड पे इतनी बड़ी इमारत कैसे खड़ी कर दी?
निश्चित रूप से इस सब की जांच होगी और जो भी इसमें गड़बड़ी होंगी उनको सुधारा जाएगा।
ये जुडिशियल इंक्वायरी होगी सर?
निश्चित रूप से होगी
जुडिशियल इंक्वायरी। आप कंफर्म कर रहे हैं कि एक जुडिशियल इंक्वायरी बिठाएंगे आप इनके खिलाफ?
देखिए, कानून के अलावा इसके अलावा ये पूरा घटनाक्रम कैसे चला, कैसे वहां लाइसेंस किस सरकार, किन लोगों ने लाइसेंस दिए, कैसे एक आश्रम किले के रूप में तब्दील हो गया, उन सब की निश्चित रूप से जांच होगी।
ओके जवाहर यादव साहब, एक लास्ट सवाल है मेरा आपसे, एक लास्ट प्रश्न है। आज तक हरियाणा चीफ मिनिस्टर जो हैं खट्टर साहब, वो सामने क्यों नहीं आए मीडिया के?
ऐसा है, उनका मीडिया के सामने आना विशेषता थी या हरियाणा के या दूसरे प्रांतों के जो 15,000 लोग फंसे हुए हैं उनको बचाना प्राथमिकता थी। अपनी अपनी प्राथमिकता होती है। हमारी प्राथमिकता माननीय मनोहर खट्टर सरकार की या मनोहर जी की प्राथमिकता मीडिया में जाने से के बदले जो निरीह लोग फंसे हुए उनको बचाने की थी और वो हमेशा आगे भी रहेगी।
आप हमें गारंटी दे सकते हैं कि जिन सेनानियों ने मेरे कलीग्स पे लाठियां चलाई, उनकी हड्डियां तोड़ी, उनका अरेस्ट होगा?
मैं ये कहता हूं कि जो हमने कहा है, जहां भी नियमों का उल्लंघन हुआ है, जहां भी गलत कार्य हुए हैं, जिसने भी किए हैं, उन दोषियों को उसकी सजा मिलेगी। और आपके दुख दर्द में मैं भी शामिल हूं। मेरी भी पत्रकारों से बात हुई है जो घायल हुए हैं। मुख्यमंत्री के जो मीडिया एडवाइजर हैं अमित आर्य जी, वो लोगों से मिल भी रहे हैं, पर्सनली जाके हॉस्पिटल में मिलते हैं। और खासकर मुझे आपके चैनल के कर्मचारी गंगाराम हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट है, उनसे भी जाकर मिल के आए।
जवाहर यादव साहब, इसमें तो दो राय नहीं है कि किसने वार किया हमारे जर्नलिस्ट कॉलीग्स पे, क्योंकि आपके एक लीडर हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के एमपी हैं, जो आज सामने आके बोले कि नहीं इनको वहां लोकल्स ने मारा जर्नलिस्ट को। इसकी आप तो पुष्टि नहीं करेंगे?
नहीं, मुझे एक नए तथ्य पे आप बात कर रहे हैं, मुझे उसकी कोई नहीं है। तो मेरा कहना यह है, जो मैं कम शब्दों में कहना चाहूंगा, जिसने भी किया है, चाहे वो कोई भी हो, चलेगा नहीं।
ठीक है, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने का, धन्यवाद, थैंक यू वेरी मच। I just want to quickly come up to you, Mr. Kalappa. Three questions. One, how has this individual all these years been allowed to amass this arsenal? I think Mr. Yadav came out and said that the previous government needs to answer that question. Secondly, how has this land been allowed to be used to the purposes that it has been used in clear violation of land laws? And thirdly, very importantly, this individual from 2006 is wanted for murder, etc. Why wasn't he hauled up before?
See, how a person is dealt with is decided by a court of law. It's not decided by the government. In 2006, the Congress regime arrested him. He was inside for 18 years, for 18 months.
Yes.
And then he came out on bail, right? He continued till 2013. Again, there were orders. He was yet again arrested without any of this drama, right? and he was again arrested, kept inside, and then subsequently released by court orders.
Okay.
Right?
Second
so everything that has happened has been by way of court orders.
How did he assume? How did he acquire this arsenal?
No, how he has acquired his arsenal, according to what I know, is that from the 5th of November, when NBW was first issued, he has, you know, first of all, the state intelligence has totally failed to tell anybody or to inform the chief minister as to how so much of material, so much of inflammable material, so much of rocks, so much of sticks,
so you're
so
saying
many
in 14 days, under the nose of the state administration, all these weapons were smuggled in. Are you suggesting that?
This is exactly what I'm saying.
Are you suggesting that?
Exactly what I'm saying. Because I'll tell you why.
Expect us to
I'll tell you why. No, you see, please. No, let me just explain. Let me
answer the question.
No, I'm explaining.
Colonel has asked you a question. Was the police in connivance? Because that's the only way it can happen.
Yes, see,
or the police are inefficient.
I have already explained that the BJP received support from this gentleman and came into office.
So the BJP connived to build an arsenal within 10 days.
Then let me tell you how this further progress.
Why would it want to do that,
sir? Let me tell you how this
to create a problem down the line for itself.
On the 5th of
November, it doesn't make sense. It's not adding up.
On the 5th of November, NBWs were issued. NBWs were issued. Thereafter, there were 3 affidavits
so the
filed
BJP
by the BJP.
allows
You're not
this
listening
man.
to me, Rahul.
No,
then you answer for me. Then.
Mr. Kalappa, I can't understand. You're being evasive. So the BJP builds up
an
arsenal.
I have no answer, Rahul.
No, 1 second. The BJP allows this man to build up an arsenal.
You don't want to listen to anything I have to say. You don't want to listen to anything I have to say. Then make up your mind.
Mr. Kalappa.
You tell me what exactly I have to answer. I'll answer. You tell me the way you want me to answer.
Let me ask you.
Have I completed what I was trying to say? Have I completed what I was trying to say?
Can I ask you a question?
No, you can't. Let me complete what I was trying to say. I'm trying to make a point. The point is that on the 5th of November...
I'm asking you a counter question on the point you're making.
Very well. On the 5th, let me complete, then you can answer. On the 5th of November, there was a certain order. After that, there were 3 affidavits filed by the state government, all saying that no, this gentleman could not be arrested for whatever reason, that there would be a flare-up of the law and order and all that.
But that doesn't answer my question.
But in the same time, did the police at that time take any steps to see to it that this kind of material was stopped from reaching the ashram?
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Going by your logic, the police first allowed this individual to build up this arsenal and then decided on the 17th of November to descend on this ashram and then try to smoke this individual out when they knew that they were perhaps going to be assaulted, shot at, bombed. Why would they want to do that?
No. You see, I'll tell you.
It's
it was the state government which was doing this entire thing. Right. And
So they were arming. The state government was arming.
The state
Rampal.
I don't know.
And his goons. No, what are you saying?
See, I don't know if the state government knew what was happening.
Okay, and what about this what about this great big ashram that he built over 10 years? How did that happen?
See,
how does a man who was an ex-government employee, who then joins a guru, grow to this stature?
No,
get all the permissions, regulations, etc., and even violates them along the line. How does that happen?
First of all, Rahul,
petty corruption.
If this kind of a question is put to me, then certainly there should be some proceeding to which I should refer to. I have no idea about these proceedings. But if you want to ask me how a person has acquired property, I don't know. I can't answer. Now let the regime find out. Presently there is a regime.
Okay.
Now you have to ask the present regime.
Okay, quick answers. Yeah. 2 quick answers before we move on. Mr. Rao, quick answers. Mr. Khaitan, quick answers. Let me first begin with Mr. Khaitan. Mr. Khaitan, quick counters to what Mr. Kalappa has said and 2 questions of your own to Mr. Rao. Very quickly.
See, 43 odd summons over the last 10 years, several criminal cases, including cases of mass murders, 5 people losing lives, 2 persons getting killed, clashes between the sect of Mr. Rampal and other religious sects. And all this was happening under Congress's watch. Now clearly there was a nexus. Nobody can deny that. It cannot happen without a nexus. Yes, he was arrested.
If there was a nexus, then why did you ask the BJP?
We know that today
why did you support the BJP during these elections?
He may have been arrested.
Please.
One second.
Because opportunists sense which way the wind is blowing.
This is your lie.
I didn't interrupt you.
Okay.
Sir, I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you.
Yes.
When there are cases in courts, when people are losing lives, There would be cases and people would get arrested. But what happened after the case was filed? Did you successfully prosecute him? Could you ensure that he remained behind bars?
This is absurd.
Could you ensure that he couldn't
I think you should ask yourself this question.
Build his castle, his citadel?
No, I think you should ask yourself this question.
You completely
how is a prosecution to take place? Prosecution is to take place only by the state. The courts have no role in it.
Please,
I think your proposition is totally absurd.
They weren't shouting,
no,
sir, when you were
we
speaking.
know that. We know cases get filed. Sir, please, we know that. When 5 people, 6 people, 10 people get killed, you are bound to register a case and you are bound to make some arrests. But what happened subsequent to an arrest is what shows the political intent. Subsequent to the arrest, he was allowed to come out on bail. Subsequent to the arrest, he was allowed to grow in stature.
But by court orders, Ashish, I don't know why you are saying all this. You have no stakes in this issue. I don't know why you are saying all this.
Okay.
Court orders.
No,
don't you have a stake
please
in the criminal justice system?
It's all right for you to speak in a very angry
Doesn't
fashion.
an elected government
It's all
have a
right for you
stake
to speak
in
in a very
criminal
angry
justice
fashion, Ashish. That's
I'm
perhaps your
asking you a
trademark.
simple question.
But the point is, the
why
point
you
is
a
that
state
you must point something which
you
is
have a-
realistic.
Don't you have a stake?
Just mouthing
didn't
these
you have a stake
high-sounding
in the criminal justice system
words
of
will not
Haryana?
take it further.
Okay.
Can you say that?
Okay.
You simply wash off your hands?
Okay.
Please. Now I have 2 questions.
Yes,
I
two
have
questions.
2 questions and
Two
I have other 2 demands.
Okay.
And my demands are very simple. And my demand is that a mere judicial probe is not enough. Let's all agree as political stakeholders to a state-monitored probe. Let's probe the involvement, the nexus between elected politicians and this particular Godman. Let's probe the nexus between, not just between this Godman and politician, but all self-styled Godmen.
Okay, fair enough. Let's get Mr. Rao.
Against them.
Okay, Mr. Rao. Mr. Rao, respond very quickly.
Will you agree to it?
Would you agree to this? Mr. Rao, would you agree to this?
Have you run out of questions, Rahul? Why are you sort of surrendering your right to other panelists to ask questions?
I'm not. It's a legitimate question. I don't censor my panelists, sir. You might have a question for the Congress.
I'm ready.
Please.
As the spokesperson of
you
a
might have a
political
question
party.
for Ashish Khaitan. I don't sit here as censor.
I have no difficulty.
No, just come out with whatever observations you have to make.
Question, but then
I
have to be given the same kind of.
I'm giving you the time. Have I said that I'm not giving you the time?
No, please.
You have the time.
I have seen.
You have the time. Go ahead.
No, but I am not here. I'm not here to answer the questions of all different panelists. I consider you are the empire of this show, and repeatedly I find that you are asking particularly the Aam Aadmi Party to raise questions as if they are sitting here in judgment.
It's very simple.
I have a lot of questions for them.
It's very simple. It's very simple. Ask your questions. I haven't stopped you. I can only ask you a simple, straightforward question, Mr. Rao. One straightforward question. Would you continue? Would you continue on the evidence? 1 minute. Would you continue? Would you continue? Would you continue, and bear in mind, sir, that the viewers are listening in very keenly. Would you continue to say today that your government in Haryana...
Yes.
Would you continue to say that your government in Haryana has acquitted itself with unexceptional credibility in dealing with Rampal over the last 20 days? Yes or no?
It's an absolute yes, and we have handled the situation with great aplomb. I think the state had a responsibility. It was a very challenging situation, something that was completely unheard of. This country had not witnessed ever in the past. So this is certainly a test case to study. So if the state government is wanting to conduct an inquiry, whatever be its nature, I think the findings of that inquiry are going to be of great learning value, not just to the government of Haryana, but to the government of India as well. This is the kind of a situation that this country had not seen before, and the government of Haryana, which is barely 20 days old, I think cannot be blamed for all all the mud that has really, all the filth that has been created by the previous government.
So you give yourselves
continuously supporting the so-called Sant even today.
So one second. So you're giving yourself 100 on 100. Okay, let's go across to the three panelists who don't represent, at least to my knowledge, any political parties, and let me ask them if they're convinced with what Mr. Rao has said. Brigadier first.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, listening to the whole thing, I feel that the state government has been weak, has been indecisive, and they have not been able to perform what they were supposed to do. Their law enforcement agency has been absolutely ineffective.
One reason why you feel that way, Brigadier?
Because they have not been able to serve the
warrants,
warrant, which they ought to have done.
Okay.
My take after listening to all this, I'll go back to my earlier suggestion to all the political parties. India has moved on. Do not use religion as a crutch for your agendas. Find a better method. But as far as this particular incident is concerned...
One second.
I agree with you.
One second, Mr. Khaitan, I'm not asking you.
I second your proposition.
I'm not asking you. Yes.
As far as this incident is concerned, I personally...
No, I'm just saying that.
Please.
I agree.
Great, thank you.
With Colonel.
It required the CRPF to come in.
CRPF.
To do this today. It was not the Haryana police. And therefore, I shudder to think, after seeing what the reaction to the Budgam incident, that should the army be landed up in a situation like this, under this kind of leadership, where you have to take orders in writing before taking action. I think the Haryana police has been found wanting in this.
Okay, Advaita Kala, your last thoughts.
My last thoughts very, very quickly. I mean, I will admit that this is a very complex issue with a lot of innocent lives involved. I mean, at one point there were 10,000 people, innocent people, trapped within the confines of that ashram. But I'm a little surprised by Mr. Rao's self-congratulatory tone. I mean, if anything, this is extremely tragic. You know, you've had 205 people who've been injured. You've had 25 press media who have been beaten. And you have 76 police officers who've been hurt in the line of, in the line of duty. So I really don't see how you can use words like aplomb and that this was a success. I really think, I find that distasteful looking at the circumstances. I don't think this has been a success by any measure or for anyone. It's a point of reflection.
It's a point of inflection and reflection. Okay, very quickly, Priyank Tripathi, I just want to go across to you. I think we've wound down this debate. Thank you for participating. But Priyank Tripathi, what happens next is this individual, this Godman goon called Rampal, going to spend the night in prison, or is he going to be now laid up in hospital for another 5 days, and is the hospital also going to be under siege?
Rahul, I couldn't hear you last
Yes,
part of
what is going to happen with this Godman goon? Is he going to be in hospital or is he going to be in jail this night? Where is he going to be?
See, Rahul, the cops have taken him to an undisclosed location because of the security reason. They are anticipating that if the location will be disclosed, then the supporters across different portions of of Haryana who were not allowed to come to this location will come there. That's why the IG of Hisar told me that tomorrow around noon, Rampal will be produced before the Honorable High Court of Haryana and Punjab, because 21st day after today, tomorrow is the deadline, last deadline for the local administration to produce him, and the local administration can go before the court and claim that, see, a day before we have produced Rampal before you. But definitely the negotiation did happen in between Rampal and the local police.
So he's going to spend the night in jail? Priyank Tripathi, is he going to spend the night in jail?
Yeah, Rahul, for sure he'll be spending his night in jail, but that will be a makeshift jail for tonight. We don't know exactly at which location any a house can be converted into a jail for Rampal.
I understand.
But
serious charges
onwards,
of sedition. Serious charges of sedition have been slapped against this individual. It will be very difficult for him to get a bail anytime soon. We are going to perhaps see Rampal finally in jail where he truly belongs, where he should stay. We're going to leave it at that. We'll return in just a few moments with Jujhar Singh, who has the other top stories of the evening for us. Don't go away.